the Sustainable Library Initiative. Rebecca was one of the developers of that. And she's also one of the writers of the new handbook that you've all got in your hands now, except you that aren't here, that are in our satellite locations. But if it has to do with libraries in New York, Rebecca's the expert.
Right.
And Alex is you're at Suffolk, is that right?
Correct. Yep.
And you're kind of a mentor or a guide to these?
I'm the sustainability coordinator, so I'm here to provide member support, the day-to-day operations, work on the different initiatives with the advisory board to, further the goals of the SLI.
Great. Well, welcome.
Thank
For having us.
We'll let you take it from here. The board has discussed this at the last couple of meetings. They still have a few questions. But if you've got a little presentation and then we'll take questions, that'll be great.
Sure. Well, thank you for the invitation to come in and speak with you. I have a day job. I'm just like Steve. I help run a cooperative public library system. I have 66 member libraries here in the Hudson Valley. I've worked here for about 25 years. And a big part of my job for 20 of those years was helping library trustees learn about their roles and helping my libraries win at the polls to win their budget votes, their building referendum, to build new buildings. So my entire career has really been focused on how to help make sure our libraries are as relevant and responsible and responsive as possible, and positioning our public library system to make sure we're relevant and responsive to our member libraries as well. So out of a lot of that thinking emerged the Sustainable Libraries Initiative, which actually became a project that was statewide about 8 years ago, trying to help position libraries again to be relevant and responsive, both from thinking about what boards and staff need to be thinking about when it comes to the sustainability of the institution. Do we have the money we need to run? Do we have the support we need in the community? Are we, relevant? Are we actually thinking about the things that are impacting people's lives? As well as kind of contending with what does the future hold environmentally? Because there's a lot of very scary news coming out about climate change. And we're already seeing, the hottest summer on record we experienced here in New York. We're seeing crazy weather that's resulting in flooding and stronger blizzards and all sorts of weather that I think a lot of people in upstate New York never really kind of thought about coming our way when we were hearing the headlines about climate change. So we created the Sustainable Libraries Initiative to try to think about what tools might library leaders need to think through the everyday decisions that we all make about policies and funding and programs and collections and partnerships in order to position ourselves to be good investments of public and private dollars in our communities, as well as responding to what I think this generation and future generations are looking for from public institutions, which is, again, to be thinking about the future and making sure that we're good partners to others in our communities and helping our communities thrive and be resilient, which is, I think, the goal we all have when we got involved in libraries, either as a profession or as volunteers. So the certification program helps to accelerate that work through the work we've done over the past 8 years, identifying the different activities that we all are doing anyway, considering our policies and our facilities and how we spend money and where we spend our time, but doing so with great focus on the idea of community resilience. So the certification program, which in a minute I'll throw it up on the screen in case you haven't seen it before, it walks your organization through about 12 categories of activities. Again, many things that you're already doing or would be touching on normally as a governing board and staff, but it helps the public library system, like where you are governing and where I work and where Alex works. It helps a system be authentic and kind of lead the way on behalf of their member libraries. So we redesigned the program specifically for public library systems in New York. It's a very niche program. It's modeled on what we do with the public libraries themselves, but takes into consideration the very unique role we play as public library systems. We really help to, I think, model behavior and model best practices through the way we run our own systems. And so even if your member libraries didn't have the wherewithal to join the program or get certified, they're seeing it in real time through the system and making better choices. So our system here at Mid-Hudson and Alex's as well in Suffolk have both been through this program. So we are speaking from experience of what it's done for our organizations. And before I show you any of the back end of it, I just want to say that it has saved us money. It's raised our stature with legislators. It's brought money to us. I actually literally had a grantor knock on my door and say, "Would you like $25,000?" And I said, "Yes, please." So it's really helped different people throughout the Hudson Valley see us as relevant and position us in a different way. We all battle the kind of advocacy messaging that people think we're just books. And it really helps to tell a different story about who libraries really are and the value we truly bring to communities as educators and community partners. So here at Mid-Hudson, we started this program, and we were coming out of a time when the staff had very low morale and our budget was in rough shape. And it helped to bring the staff together. It helped the board and staff have more respect for each other. And it, I think, also brought our member libraries to a new level of respect for the work we were doing, and has sparked all sorts of other cool projects for our member libraries. We have something called the Library of Local now, with libraries that specialize in food security issues. So they have seed libraries and gardening tools and special collections on climate solutions and issues related to canning and preserving food. So it's really branded a lot of our libraries in a new way, and been very good in terms of bringing goodwill towards our libraries. And while there's no promise of grant money, it certainly makes you more attractive to other funders who are thinking about how to build adaptation in our municipalities using things like the state's Climate Smart Action Program and other funders who are looking to talk about climate change mitigation and adaptation. It just perfectly positions you for that messaging, that money, and to actually be impactful in that area. So Steve, I don't want to keep talking about the program if you've already kind of been describing it to folks, but what else could I talk about to describe the program that would be helpful to your group here this evening?
Well, I'll let them ask the questions. Like I said, we've discussed it, but your presentation was better in 5 minutes than we had 20 minutes discussing it last meeting.
Which is exactly what I was going to say, Steve. That was very, very well done, and certainly explained what the whole thing is about. Very, very well. Thank you.
I think one of our concerns was with cost in mind, the benefits of certification over being a member.
So membership is really becoming part of a community of practice. So you've got access to member resources that can help you kind of do DIY stuff. Like if you want to benchmark the carbon footprint of the organization, there's a tool there for that. You'd have access to a program idea bank, which is more suited to your members probably than you as a system. There's also a list of vendors that members have vetted and said, oh, this vendor is really actually pretty authentic and doing a good job in helping us recycle, or has products that are more suitable for caring about the environment, things like that. So it's a way to get started and dip your toe into the thinking. The certification program gives you structure within which to work. So it's not just kind of like where you're making stuff up and kind of being haphazard. It really focuses you on the activities that make a difference and help, I think, move you forward on the topic. So you have something to show for it.
Lonnie?
So thank you for that really concise presentation. It surprised me though, because it was different from what I picked up when I looked at, and this was months ago when we were discussing it here, when I spent a lot of time on the website, which you made it very specific to public library systems in New York State. And on the website, it talked about being very broad, including university libraries that weren't necessarily public. And those, to me, are totally different kinds of animals.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Oh, sorry.
That made me concerned much more about the accreditation part than the information part, because the resources that that one needs are different and all of that. Now I have one other kind of question. Is it really specific to our situation? and the information part is great. I don't think any of us have big doubts on whether the information is going to be useful. We know it doesn't happen right away, so it'll probably
We have
take
nothing higher.
a couple of years before you get ready to use it. But my question about accreditation,
That's
where
not.
you have steps to
When
go
you sit
through.
down, it sinks.
Yeah, and you go through lightweight, I'm thinking of a lightweight kind of supportive association versus heavyweight. So we know the issues in climate change are going to change very rapidly. We don't know how. And so maybe the question is, do we need people who are actively applying that to libraries as things change? There are also issues on inclusiveness that are really particular and do also change as areas change and all of that. And I'm wondering about what do you see as the advantages to committing to a rigid specified in advance system as opposed to a system where we keep up with current information. And I frankly, in our library system is, I think we have a fantastic staff who are way ahead of, just really want to keep up. But I don't see the advantage of adding a layer of accreditation. I think there are associations, or it seems that there are associations that will weed out incompetent libraries, as opposed to people who are really trying to keep up, which requires more change. Could you speak to that?
Yeah, absolutely. And what a really thoughtful question. I think the complexity of climate action is that everyone thinks about it slightly differently, but everyone thinks of it very heavy on the environmental side of things. When truly you're dealing with an ecosystem that is not just about the environment, but about economics and social equity. So when you use the word rigid, I would say that's the only thing I would disagree with what you said, because the certification program is built to be customizable for your situation. So it provides the framework for conversations to be had, for education to be obtained, and for you to pick your path forward based on your local conditions and what makes the most sense for you in Clinton, Essex, Franklin counties. So I think that rather than thinking of it as kind of prescriptive, it more is facilitating an experience for your organization to have conversations and make better decisions than you might have made had you not had the shared experience of learning about how all these things intersect and how they particularly intersect in the world of libraries. So I think that there's excellent work being done by a lot of different people, just like you said. I think there's no one right way to do things in terms of thinking about how to position your organization to be as responsive and relevant in the face of climate change as possible. This is one path forward that is working for a lot of people and will be the basis of the National Climate Action Plan for Libraries released by the American Library Association next year. So you'd be really on the cutting edge, I think, and an early adopter of thinking that's influencing the entire profession.
But
Okay, well,
just again, clarify the advantage between certification and what was it, certification
Membership.
or
membership.
and just membership? What would be excluded by not being certified, or what would be?
So certification gives you access to what's called the dashboard, which if it's okay with you, I can share my screen and show you, which gives you guided access through 140 activities that your library system can choose to do to help enhance its policies, change its programs, think about staff job descriptions and evaluations, how you're running the facility, what choices to make in terms of prioritizing your facility plan. So it gives you the structure to make decisions versus membership, which is just kind of access to some resources that might be helpful to you depending on what you've chosen to work on. So it provides structure and a methodology for moving through activities that address the triple bottom line of environmental stewardship, social equity, and economic feasibility for your library system.
Would you, I think it'd be time now to share that with us
Yeah, sure.
and show that because one thing I think you said too that I like so well was that it made you more more not approachable, but more I wrote it down here. We're more relevant to the legislators, and that I think is very, very important because that's our That's our bread and butter.
Yeah.
And
So what you're seeing at the state level is literally billions of dollars being invested into digital equity, being invested into climate adaptation. And what that looks like from region to region in New York State is a little different. But these words and phrases being used in Albany and where money is flowing to are aligned with activities you would do within the certification program. So hopefully you can all see my screen at this point. What I'm showing you is the dashboard to the certification program for public library systems, which is what Alex's system and mine used to become certified. So it's designed really for cooperative library systems like yours and mine and Alex's. So it's really a niche kind of experience, shall we say, because it acknowledges that as a governing board, you have oversight of the system's budget, policies, and plan of service. It also acknowledges the influence your staff has and can have with your member libraries in what they choose to curate in terms of the programs and continuing education they offer and the partnerships they seek out on behalf of your system and the member libraries. So what you see here are the different sections of work. They're designed to actually influence the culture of the organization, that you have a mindset shift. So everyone involved from staff to trustees start thinking in a new framework of how to make decisions. So at the top of the program and getting started, you're working on things like having a little working group. You've got education to help people understand the language around the work. You've got a staff survey to help kind of gauge where are you in this work, because the program does not assume you're starting from zero. In fact, there's probably many things you're doing that you can quickly check off and really advance yourself through the certification program. And then you can kind of triage the things that you hadn't thought of, or maybe you've halfway done. But you'll see here in the beginning, you're looking at policy, staff attitudes, board education, job descriptions, benchmarking, things like your energy usage. So when you start to make different choices, you can measure what the impact of that has been. And then you'll move into the other areas, which hopefully that gives you a very strong basis from which to make better decisions moving forward in the other categories. So you'll see here, there's things like outdoor spaces. You folks have your own building, which you have to maintain and manage and make decisions about. So outdoor spaces and indoor spaces takes you through decisions that you're going to be making related to outdoors, light pollution, native plants, pesticides, all the kind of traditional stuff you think about around environmentally sound decision making. And then you'll see it goes into indoor spaces where you're making decisions related to indoor air quality and cleaning products and things that really speak to living your values out loud as an organization. So it's education to help you make better choices, but also things you might want to codify into policy. Then it moves into transportation. Library systems move a lot of stuff around our service areas. We send staff to conferences. We bring people together for continuing education. There's really three main areas that libraries can influence when it comes to our carbon footprints, which is your buildings, transportation, and waste, what we throw into the garbage pile, basically. So this helps you think through where are your opportunities to influence those things. So you may or may not be maintaining a fleet or have staff vehicles, but you might be educating your staff about commuting options, or thinking that when you replace the current fleet of vehicles, maybe we make some different decisions about how those are powered moving forward to reduce our carbon footprint. Then you've got your energy outputs and where you can make differences there, from technology to lighting choices in the building, all sorts of things, how you're using water, what materials you're purchasing, how you source things, educating your staff on the zero waste hierarchy to try to reduce the amount of stuff we buy, and when we do buy stuff, to make healthier choices for people and the planet. And then you're moving into more programmatic areas after this section. So where are your opportunities for collective impact? So this is where we're getting into service and program design, which is going to be more heavily reliant on the staff and the work they're doing. So education for your staff on how to make better decisions that help to support work already happening in communities and how to position libraries for that good work. Where might member libraries need some education related to issues related to from everything from social cohesion, civic participation, as well as environmental sustainability. The other sections here are specific to social cohesion, which is bringing people together so they have more respect and empathy and understanding for each other, and therefore more likely to work together to solve problems. Participating in community resilience planning, so disaster preparedness, support of the first responder community, making sure the first responder community understands what libraries bring to the table for both disaster preparedness work and disaster recovery work, which is an unfortunate reality of the future. Given what's going to be happening with climate change. And then you'll see more internal things, financial sustainability for your library system. So taking a hard look at your financial position, your reserve fund strategy, really trying to project out what the needs are of your members and what the needs are of your system to meet those needs of your members, and really have a solid financial plan. So the system is around for a long time to do the good work that you do and supporting your member libraries. And then at the very end here, you'll see continuing education and consulting, which again helps to flavor perhaps the positioning of what services and what areas you're specializing in as a system to help support your libraries be relevant in terms of adaptation and community resilience work. So at the end, you do a final presentation to kind of bring it all together and help tell your story. And that's where legislators have been very intrigued when they learn the comprehensiveness of the work you've been doing, the thoughtfulness, and of course, telling the story of how important libraries are to community resilience and climate adaptation, which is something they may not have ever thought of before. So the presentation becomes a real marketing tool for you to speak with legislators, funders, other decision makers in your region.
Thank you, Rebecca. That was a nice overview.
Any other questions for Rebecca?
Chris?
Hello, Rebecca.
Hi.
The certification process, presumably if all goes well, you get yourself certified. Is that like a lifetime certification, or it is?
Yeah. It is, yeah. You know, I'm a lead AP, a leadership and energy and environmental design professional for buildings, and they have to get recertified and recommissioned. That's not really what we're looking for here in this experience. We're looking for an organizational mindset shift, to see your organization start to make decisions differently, to prioritize climate action and community resilience in the work that we do, given the scope and scale of the program. So our only hope is that long-term, you're a member of the community and you share your experience and help others learn from what you learned in the program.
Okay, so if we can fall off the wagon and we'll still remain certified. Okay, thank you.
But we have to pay every year for extra to maintain the certification.
We have to pay membership every year.
Oh, just membership, but not certification.
Yeah, you just pay for the certification once. You can take as long as you want to get certified. There's no ticking clock, but each year you'd maintain your membership.
Any other questions for Rebecca?
Yes. Hi, this is Dorothy. Yeah, just kind of following up, touching on the finances again. You know, there would clearly be some cost involved. And you also mentioned that there is funding. There's a lot of interest, you know, in supporting these efforts. And so I guess my question has to do with, you know, what are the financial implications of Rebecca and Steve? I don't know whether you've had a chance to, you know, really think about this very much or not.
So you definitely have the certification fee that you pay out of pocket. And then how much you invest in the effort after that is completely up to you. So I'll say in my own organization, we've brought in far more money than we've put out into the efforts, from being eligible for incentives through our utility company, being eligible for grants. We weren't eligible before because we've done some of the work that's required to get those grants. For example, I was able to apply for a decarbonization grant for solar panels in my region because I had the NYSERDA energy audit done, which I don't know if I would have done if I hadn't been in the certification program. So it can help to open doors for you, but you're still in control of what you invest your own money in and what ends up in your plans. There's no, as I said, prescription from the program to spend any more money throughout the process than you're comfortable doing. And as I said, hopefully it ends up saving you money, if not attracting new money to your organization. I'll just tell one little funny story if you don't mind. One of the first things we did is we assessed our office supplies. We learned that there was like standing orders. I have like a lifetime supply of pens that will dry out before we can ever use them, for example. But after we did that inventory, we changed our purchasing habits. We greatly reduced what we purchased, and we were able to find cheaper options that were better for the environment. So at the end of the exercise, we actually spend less and do better for the planet. So that's just one little example of probably a dozen more I could give you of how that worked out for the Mid-Hudson Library System.
Is there like, are there brains to pick, say, if we were on something and, you know, we thought, geez, we really could, is there anybody out there that we could call and say, without a consultant fee?
Yeah. As part of the program, you're assigned a mentor. As a public library system, I would be one of your two mentors, myself and Roger Reyes, who works with Alex down at the Suffolk County Cooperative Library System. We mentor all of the public library systems in the state. So we, in addition to you folks, if you were to join, you'd be joining the Southern Tier Library System, the North Country Library System, and the Ramapo Catskill Library System. We're all in it together. So you've got that group, but then you've got the wider community of practice across the country and Canada now of libraries in the program who are at various stages of certification. You have a listserv to tap, as well as monthly meetups of everyone in the program where you can learn from them and ask questions.
So the meetups are only for people in the certification program. There are no, there's no informal contact among the members, or that's not permitted?
I would say that's not, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Is that restricted? I mean, so basically it's that you get the resources if you join the certification program, but some of the information, like how to do an energy audit, which is something that lots of people do, is not available. I mean, you could find it online, you know, you can look it up, but that's not available to people who are just members, or there's information that's restricted for members that is only available to people in the certification program. Is that the case?
No, the members are actually invited to the monthly meetups as well, but it's just designed around being in the certification program. But you could come in and hop on and listen to the conversation and ask some questions. There's also quarterly webinars that are open to everyone. And there's an archive of all the education we've ever done has been recorded and archived on the SLI website, so members have access to that. So I would say the only thing you're kind of shut off from if you're not in the certification program are the action items you're seeing here and the support specific to each action item. So what I did was I just clicked on one of the action items here, and each one is kind of designed in the same way, where you have resources that help you address the item and suggestions for examples for, say, you're writing your sustainability policy. What does that mean? Where are the examples? How do I find them? It's all curated for you, action item by action item in the dashboard I'm showing you. So that'd be like the only thing you wouldn't have access to if you were not part of the certification program, but you are a member.
Okay, thank you, Rebecca. I think we'll move on to Alex and see what Alex is going to say to us. Wonderful presentation.
Yeah.
It really, really was. Thank you.
I think Rebecca said it all. I really don't have much more to add. You know, I think like she said, the action item form is the only real difference between the two. But you know, we're certainly here to you know, help you know, as a community of practice. You know, if you do decide to join, you're joining you know, a lot of people who are of the same mindset and are definitely willing to help out. So
Okay. Once again, thank you very much. It certainly opened my mind up a little bit more and answered a lot of my questions. Does anybody else on the board have any more questions? Oh, it's okay. So okie dokie. Thank you very much. Anybody,
Thank you for having
Steve,
me.
you want to add anything?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank
for
you.
yours.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
We'll talk about that when we get down to unfinished business, Steve. see if there's anything more anybody wants to say to that. Is that okay? Okay, I guess I'm calling the meeting to order officially at 5 o'clock. Okay. We got so many computers going, we're having a little back feedback here on our stuff, so. Okay, how about roll call, Brenda?
Abendroth,
Here?
Bryant,
Here.
Cassava. Crosby.
Here.
DeFons. Drennan,
Here.
Fairchild,
Here.
Lotta,
Here,
LePage,
Here,
Lamonto, Mandeville,
Here.
McDonald, Roland, Valencourt.
Here.
Yando. Requests to be excused were received from Tim Roland, Jennifer Yando, Liz DeFons, and Scott McDonald. Absent, not excused, Andrew Lamonto, and we have a quorum.
very good. I also want to say Maureen Babby is here. She is it will be our new Franklin County trustee. We will be looking at the resumes in a few minutes. We'll vote on those. And so I just wanted to we were very happy that she was joining us here. And she's very excited. So that makes me excited. Okay, next, the consent agenda. We need approval of the consent agenda, approval of absences, approval of November 27th, 2023 agenda, approval of minutes of the September 25th, 2023 meeting, committees for which there are no reports at this time: advocacy, executive, health plan, negotiating, personnel, and property. Can I have a motion?
Also move.
Okay, Mary, second?
Second.
Okay, did you get that, Brenda? I mean, yeah. Okay,
Mhm.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Public comment period. Do we have public comment? Apparently not. Okay. Communications?
I have a few items. The Army Corps of Engineers sent us a thank you note for sharing our collection with them. And there was an article in the Sun Community Times about the Black Watch Library, about the Friends of the Library. It provided some background information in the history of the group. It highlighted some of the services that they provided to the library, and that they are currently seeking new members, and provided the contact information if anyone was interested in becoming a member. And lastly, the Chamber of Commerce, they mentioned us, and specifically Anne with her French group, and in one of their email newsletters. And the chamber said that they invited its members to join the French conversation group, which was facilitated by us. Meeting information was provided, and contact information was Anne Joban Picard was given. And that is it.
Thank you very much, Brenda.
You're welcome.
Okay, I will make my president's remarks pretty short. Hope and I did go to the Franklin County Legislators meeting. We were very, very well received. I have heard through the grapevine, we got our extra 2%. I don't know, when do you usually get notification of that, Michael? Like, when do you usually get something in print that tells us exactly how much we received?
Usually in December, we get the 3 of them. Also, we probably start getting the contracts to sign off on.
Right, okay, so, but I did run into someone and they said that they had given us the 5, but.
We received a letter from Essex County saying the 29,000 and whatever is included in their budget, what we asked for. So we did get a 5% increase from them.
Okay, so that was kind of good. Now, one other thing I'm gonna bring up, speaking of sustainability, we seem to be using an awful lot of paper. When I first joined, like, what would it be now? 5, 6 years ago, this would be my 7th. We didn't have copies made of the whole packet for us. we made what we wanted and or we brought our computers and our, you know, our laptops so we could look at things. Can we try to start maybe working on getting back to that particular area? Because I just think and I have so many papers at home now. I mean, it's just got ridiculous too. I mean, because I keep everything in a folder so I can always look back, you know, at the other ones and or call the office if there's an issue. I just feel like we are using an awful lot of paper that I'm not sure what's being done with it afterwards. So can we do a little discussion next January meeting about maybe streamlining, see how people feel about going back to, I think they made me the whole packet the first couple of months. And then after that, because I said, well, I didn't get anything. And then they said, well, we expect people to kind of, you know, look it over ahead of time and, you know, copy what they need. Print. I know not everybody has printers, and that's something we could take care of, but it seems like we're getting an awful lot of paper. And I don't know what to do with it at home. And then I think, well, I'll keep that a little longer. And then my library pile is getting quite large. So it's just a thought. Please think that over. Does anybody feel that we need to discuss that, or am I just the only one that's being, you know?
So can I ask one question in preparation for the January meeting? And what I was wondering, if there's any way to put this may already be done, and this is a library, put the board packets and stuff as sort of like a part of an online archive that we can just be told what to read in, and then it's there and we can print the stuff that we want, and then it doesn't even
Well, that's what I do. That's what I do anyway. I just look at the board packet and then take the pages that I definitely read, my agenda and whatever. I mean, we're getting it. We're getting the whole board packet.
Yeah, I was thinking if the archive, if we brought our devices with us to the meetings and it was readable, then we could all just look at it on the screens easily as instead of going through a very long PDF that you have to go through in order. I don't know if that's feasible, but I'll bring it up in January.
Okay. Do you think we want to discuss that again? Could I just have kind of a straw vote? Yes, no? What do you think?
I would just say to just ask for people that want to opt into the paper. Assume that everybody is opting out of the paper unless they want a paper copy or paper parts of it that they opt in. But assume that most people that have computers we don't even think about saying don't do it, but just assume it's an opt-out unless you if you want it, ask, it's yours, you know, you can have
That's
it,
the way we did do it before, Mary.
Yeah.
You're making my memory kind of come back a little bit.
Yeah.
I know Linda doesn't have a printer, so she gets hers, which is fine.
Yeah, that's fine, but just opt in, not opt out. It's assumed you're gonna take care of it unless you let somebody know that you do need the printed copy.
Right. And I think can we go with that format for a while and see how that goes?
Certainly for January and February and see.
Kayla, can I say something?
Huh? No. Yes, you may, I guess.
Behind. Doesn't see you.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah.
Some of the things that we do print out, history has, the last 19 years or whatever I've been here, there's stuff that needs to go into your binder.
Yes, that I realize, because
Okay.
they already have the ones that go in. Brenda usually, and Don prior to this used to put do the 3 ring binder things that we know are to go into our binder.
But some of that stuff is a lot of paper, like the annual report is over 60 pages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's only 30 pages, double-sided, but you still need it in your binder.
Is there a reason that we need to have hard binders? Why not have it all digitized?
That's what I was asking.
Yeah, like it's, think about school boards where you can go look at every agenda past till.
I would like to ask the state.
If it's required that we have printed copies.
They may agree with you, because I've had some stuff that I've had to keep, and they said you can have a electronic copy of it. So we may be able to have your complete binder on That would be nice.
And it
We'll
could be
look into
behind a
that.
password wall if that's a concern or something like that.
Well, let's do a little more discussion of that in January. Tom takes over. And, but it's just been like today I was going through papers looking for stuff and I got very frustrated and I do think that we are killing an awful lot of trees. Okay. And I think it goes right along with sustainability. So, so that's the way that will go. Thank you very much. That's my president's remarks. Now, Plattsburgh Library, Public Library Report.
I think you received my written report. I don't think I have anything to add to it.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so, and does anyone have any questions? Okay, then thank you very much. CEFDA report.
So there's not a representative from SEPTA here because Courtney couldn't make it. Her sub has COVID. But Karen Glass was working on a letter to all of you. Did you receive that today? Okay. So we've met twice this fall, and throughout the conversations, note-taking has been taking place, and Karen Glass agreed to put together all those notes into kind of one document. And she was going to send that to you all today, since no one could be here from SEPTA. So I apologize, you don't have it, you'll get it, maybe you get it tomorrow. It really just talks about ways that the directors of the libraries can work with the system to try to accomplish more, specific requests that different directors have for the system to help us more. But after you get the letter, then you know, we can have somebody here in January to talk about it.
Thank you. Okay, gotta get back to my director's report, Steve.
I don't have too much beyond what is written. You do have a new trustee handbook. It's about 1.5 times the old one.
Oh, great.
But that is the new standard. We have to get a new water heater.
Oh.
We've called, which one was it, Michael?
Instant Bob came.
Instant Bob. And he's gonna install one for us. We were losing water, 8,000 gallons last month.
Wow.
And we don't use that much. We don't flush the toilets that much.
We usually use about 2,000.
About
Can you
2,000.
have him in flushing your toilets?
Goes into a drain down there.
Are these heated toilets or what?
Yeah, I guess.
Hot water toilet?
Is the water in the cellar?
No, there are drains in the floor there and it's just draining into one.
But the hot water heater shouldn't affect the toilet. That's what's bothering me.
No, that's
I
when,
think he was just an offside.
yeah.
I mean, there could be a leak in the plumbing.
There could be a leak in the plumbing. Right now, we think it is the water heater. They came in and looked at it and did an audit. The other plumbing fixtures seem to be fine. We're not seeing any leakage. So, that's why we're taking care of the water heater.
And the water heater is turned off, and it's been since 2008 when we got the last water heater. So it's lasted a pretty good time. 15 years.
Past its life.
And it's
It served you
not a
well.
commercial, it's a residential, so it was even,
Oh,
you know.
So that they're cheap, the resident. Is it drained now?
well, you're not doing laundry.
No, I told Michael, he used to come in and hang all his laundry in the upstairs bathroom. Can't do that anymore, Michael.
You're not taking
Okay,
showers.
sorry.
You don't have a teenager.
Board education.
Oh, yeah.
We did do a session for the trustees within the system, any that wanted to participate. We had 41 participate in that. And we're hoping that we're going to do 4 of those next year. There are a couple at the end of my November report, a couple last opportunities before the end of the year. Of course, there's always the trustee handbook book club archived sessions that you can watch. But there's also one on meeting minimum public standards. I think that's going to be important for our libraries. There's a new emphasis being put on minimum standards because they think many libraries are fudging a little bit. And my playing around a little bit, I kind of agree with that. There is some fudging going on. I have to sign a document that says my libraries are in compliance, and I don't want to be the one fudging. Any questions?
So remind me, it's 3 hours, 3 different,
Your requirement is 2 hours.
2 hours, okay.
How do we, yeah, I had sent in some that I had done and I was going to go to the library, the conference or NILA, but then I had to go to Ohio, so that didn't work. But I was kind of sorry because I did want to go, but went to see grandchildren instead. So, okay, any other questions for Steve?
Just one thing, not sex education. I know that's not the name of it. And I always say that. But I don't see, I haven't done that yet. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. I have not done that yet. But I need the link to the one that we can do online.
Okay, we'll send that out to you.
I think we got it last month after last month's meeting, but it won't hurt to get it again.
Oh, okay.
Because if you get a lot of emails like I do, sometimes they get lost.
Okay.
To that archive you're talking about?
If there are no more.
No, the sexual harassment one is separate.
We did that at college.
Yeah, if you probably did it at college, so.
Yeah, 3 times PSU.
Okay, financial reports.
Could you send us a link to that archive of the other training ones that we have to fulfill?
It's in there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, if you look at the end of the report, it's this address right here.
Oh, okay, great.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on then. Financial reports. Could I have a motion to accept the financial reports?
I'll move.
Tom, thank you. Hope seconding. Okay, any questions for Michael? Michael, you do your presentation and we'll see what we got for you.
Okay, I included October and November's report, the overs and unders. There's still a couple overs and unders that we're gonna be looking at later in the meeting. You know, we're doing great. Okay, what's next is we have the amended 2021 IRS Form 990. That had to be the end of October. We worked with the outside auditors to get that to the IRS. So we have to review it and vote on it to say that it's accepted. Any questions on the Form 990?
Need a separate resolution on that?
On each one.
I'll move the 990.
Second.
I'll second that.
One you may have, but okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Named? Motion carries.
Then we have the 2022 IRS Form 990. We got an extension in May to put it off until, and have it in November 15th. So, we worked again with the auditors quite quickly. And, at first they were digging their heels and saying, you know, they needed more time. But we came to a, middle ground for both of us. And, I really put a lot of hours, almost over a whole weekend, in getting the information, the major information correct and, you know, good form. So they, on Wednesday, the 15th of November, they, transmitted this to the IRS. And now we are gonna start the, audit part of the 2022, fiscal year. Can I have approval on us sending the 2022, Form 990?
Yeah, I think Darcy, no, not Darcy, sorry. I think Dorothy was shaking her head, so.
Okay, I'll second.
Okay. And Mary seconded. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained.
Along with the Form 990, they were able to complete the, audit financials for 2021, and you should have a copy that you need to put into your binder. And also the 990s need to go in your binder, because it's, the management letter is to you, and they did not really find anything wrong. The only thing they
Not
did,
check my junk. Let
you know,
me
we
check.
have the usual things, what is it? It starts with an A, not auditors, actuaries. You know, the actuary and also the, division of duty. Well, since we hired the, accounting clerk in 2023, I feel we have greatly, dispersed that idea that, I've separated a lot of the duties between Justin and I, and some with Brenda. So I think we're gonna be a lot better on that, and we just will, you know, get written up for the, not having the actuary.
Okay,
Any questions?
Do we need to accept the, audit?
Yes.
So moved.
motion to accept the audit.
So moved.
Lonnie did.
Lonnie,
I second.
Hope seconded. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries.
Does anyone have any other questions for me? And I'm done. Thank you, Gayla.
Good job, Michael. Committee reports. Okay, nominating committee. Okay, we'll start with our two new trustees. I have, you have been sent, I don't know if you have them with you, but you have been sent two resumes through the last 2 months. One was from Susanna B. Chatlos, I believe you pronounce it. And pretty impressive. I hope you had a chance to look that over. She would be a new Clinton County. And that I have a motion to accept Susanna B. Chatlos as a new Clinton County trustee.
So, well, I don't know how we need to phrase this. We accept her to be presented to the legislature. I'm not sure of what the official wording is for that, but.
Right,
but
that's just automatically, I think it just automatically, we vote whether we accept them, and then we know that goes to.
Oh, okay, yeah, as I said, I do. I move this.
To be presented to the legislators.
Yes.
As a Clinton County.
Right.
I'll put it that way. Okay, that sounds much better anyway. Thank you, Dorothy. Okay. Does anybody, okay, could I have a motion to accept, to send Susanna's resume and name to, do we have to send the resume? The resume and her name to the Clinton County legislators for approval.
I assume.
Linda moved.
I second.
Dorothy seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Anne Marine is here with us today. Would you like to say anything? Anne?
Very happy to be here. Hope to work with all of you, and I have worked with CEF, and they are near and dear to my heart and have helped out with our library as well. So happy to be here.
Okay, thank you, Maureen. Okay, could I have a motion to present Maureen Babby's name to the Franklin County legislators for approval as a trustee?
I have a question.
Yes.
Is there a conflict with her current position and being a member of the board? I just don't recall what our, whether
I have no idea.
What is her current position?
I work as a librarian in the
She's the Bear Hill Correctional Librarian.
I don't think I think we had that question come up and we decided it was not a conflict of interest. If it came down to a vote specifically for Bear Hill, she would need to recuse herself. But other than that, she should be fine.
Yeah, I just couldn't remember.
Bring that up before. But
yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. All in favor? We didn't
Aye.
make a motion. Yeah, we did. I thought.
I
thought we made a motion, but I guess.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, well, I stated the motion. I guess nobody said that they would make it. I'm going to state it again. Could I have a motion to send Maureen Babby's name to the Franklin County legislators for approval as a trustee?
Yes, I so move.
Okay,
I'll
second.
second.
Thank you, Mary. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Thank you very much, and I think we're both of these new girls are going to be fantastic. Okay, next we have our slate of officers. Oh, as of right now, I'm sorry. As of right now, we have to fill Nikki's appointment for 2 years from Essex, and we're having, I guess Scott was having trouble getting our emails. I'm going to try to call him tomorrow because he has not got back to me whether he wants to, he could do another term, but he hasn't got back to me yet. So I plan on giving him a call tomorrow to see, because I don't know if he was getting my emails either. So, so I will check on that. And if anyone else, I know Nikki said you worked hard, and I understand that. I know how hard it is. We'll just, anybody know anyone who lives in Essex County, please send me names if you have anyone. And I don't know a lot of people from that county. So I mean, it's just, we'll keep working on that. And okay, we've got someone Linda just mentioned, but we aren't sure if she's Essex County, so we'll follow up on that. Someone that we know through the retired educators. Okay, and I think that I also want to give here, I don't know if this is appropriate, I should have done it through my president before. I want to thank the outgoing trustees. Darcy, oh my God, Dorothy, I'm doing it again. Dorothy, thank you for your years of service. Nikki, we hate to see you go. When I first started on this, you were my mentor. I don't really know what I would have done without you. And
you would have done well.
Well, you helped me a lot anyway, so we're good there. And Jen isn't here tonight because we're waiting for the mailbox to go to the Santa's mailbox to get to the village offices. That's where I'm heading to right after this. So anyway, that's why I have all these crazy things. So, but thank you so much for your service. And we'll keep We hope we hear from you again.
You never really leave a library.
Not if you love it.
And so the Sherman Free Library in Port Henry is looking for volunteers for their digitizing effort. And I said, I'd be more than happy to help if it didn't require a degree in computer science. It doesn't, so.
There you go. Oh, good. I knew you probably would help in some other fashion, Nikki. So
I'd just like to add that it's been an honor to work with both Nikki and Dorothy. You are tremendous public servants, and you'll be missed.
yes.
Well, I will say that when I was asked to be on this board, I knew almost nothing at all about the library system. And it's just been a real eye-opener to me. And I have been an ambassador of letting people know what kind of support and how libraries work in these 3 counties. So I've enjoyed it enormously.
And you were just a great asset, and thank you.
For real.
Thanks to Dorothy, we got Steve here.
For sure, and we're happy with that.
Yeah, Dorothy, you were my door into this position. You were the one that shepherded me along, and I appreciated that.
Well, I'm glad it's worked out for everybody involved.
Yep. It is a great board. Okay, now I'm going to move on to the slate of officers, which we would be, we should have been voting on that. Okay, Tom and I are flip-flopping. Since he says he has the 1 more year, he has not been president yet, so he'd like to be. So I'm going to be the VP. Secretary is open.
Nice.
It is not a very, basically, Brenda does the notes. The secretary, basically, Dorothy, right, just has to sign the minutes.
Yes, and as a matter of fact, the board has to, Michael helped keep me straight on this. The secretary signs the minutes. I was concerned one time because I had not attended the meeting, but the board approves the draft minutes before they get officially signed by the secretary. So,
okay, so if anyone is interested in that position, please let me know. Hope has agreed to continue on as treasurer, and we do need a member at large because
Liz.
Yes, Liz. Liz was our member at large, and she has fulfilled the term that she can do that. So we also need that. Didn't we agree that it should be one that's fairly close to Clinton or Essex in case you had, or the library, in case you had to have them come over to sign something? No, I know that came up at one meeting, but maybe I'm not thinking right. So
Tom passes through here every day, so if we need something signed, we'll just
Every 2 days a week.
Okay, so we still need a member at large and a secretary, so I will probably send an email out this week requiring, Linda, do you have any interest in being
I'll
secretary?
do one of them. I don't.
Okay, Linda said she'll do one of them. She's an excellent note taker because I usually turn things over to her, so we'll put her in as, do you mind as secretary?
That's fine.
Okay, so I was gonna email you today, and then I think in all the times we see each other, I would have thought to answer it. And then, so then we're down to just a member at large. Can we vote on this slate of officers today so they take office, or does it have to be? I just want to make sure we're doing this accurately. Does it have to be the next meeting? I'm pretty sure we could.
Doesn't it take effect in January?
I think in the past, we've nominated them
And voted on it.
this meeting and then confirmed that at the next meeting. And we can do that and then administer the oath of office.
Okay, that sounds very good. Anybody else interested in the member at large while I've got you all here? Mary? I see you trying to crawl under the table.
That didn't work. Yeah, but I mean, traveling is you know what I mean? If it required people coming back and forth to Clinton, it would be hard. But no, if it's yes, I'll say yes.
Well, and Michael has it set up that we have, I don't know if we can do that by the document signing we do,
Mhm.
Michael, if, you know, like, because I've done a lot of that through the documents.
Mhm.
What do we call that, Michael?
DocuSign or something?
DocuSign, yeah, because we, you know, I did a couple
Mhm.
today, so we can,
Yeah.
I don't know if we can do this that particularly
Mhm.
way, but,
Right.
um,
And I come to the local library all the time, so if there's transport that can drop something off and even let me know they're there, I can sign it and they can just,
sounds
you
good.
know, that I can do. And
Okay, okay, so what I think we will do is, I'm going to
Mhm.
repeat these people. And this will be our slate of officers, which we'll vote on the next meeting and then do the oaths of offices. President Tom Mandeville, VP Gail LePage, Secretary Linda Crosby, Treasurer Heath Allen, and Member at Large Mary Abendroth. Thank you, everybody. Okay. Finance Committee.
Kayla,
Yes, Michael.
the person in the corner would like to say something. So can I go ahead with the bank and get these, down for the, check signers? Cause we have to have that resolution because we're changing check signers. In past years, we haven't, you know, you guys have stayed in the same,
Positions,
you know, in the same position.
I
So
can't
we're
see
gonna
why
have to
not.
do all that on all 4 of the accounts and a resolution, so we can do that in January. I'll just get it ready for you.
Sounds perfect. Sounds perfect.
I have one question about, we still need somebody from Essex County, right?
Yes.
What's the law on, I know, you know, I'm being term limited out. What if somebody was term limited out, how long do they stay out before they can be back in?
At least a year.
One term. Oh, it's only 1 year? It's not even a term? It's 1 year.
Well, if you want me to, I'll reach out to Kip Thompson.
I was
see if
going
he's
to,
interested in making a comeback. He's
Yeah,
a great board member.
he was a great board member, but he always had a lot of questions for Michael. But that's okay. Michael, that's okay. We still
He's a
have.
high finance man. He retired from TIAA crap. That's.
Yeah, I know it. So I thought that was, I have had that on my mind, Tom. So if you want.
I'll email him if you want me to.
I feel that's a good idea.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
He's close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been thinking about that when I
He
was.
loves being on boards.
He's good at it.
Yeah, he is.
He is. Okay, Finance Committee, we don't know who put these on here. Must be you did, Steve?
Well, Michael is the one that's prepared these.
Okay,
But there are 3 things that we need to share with you.
okay.
One is the credit card policy. What we're trying to do is lighten Michael's load a little bit more. Right now, he and I are the only ones with credit cards. We would like to expand that to our outreach librarian and our technical guys. So David and Anya would have their own cards to do the ordering. They wouldn't have to go through Michael. So there's a policy there that outlines what they would be able to do, what the limits are, and such. And I have full confidence that both of them would be very trustworthy with that instrument.
I have no doubt that they would be. What do you want? Do we need to approve this? Is that what you want us to do?
Yeah, so we can just approve the credit card policy that was in the packet.
Okay. Then could I have a motion to approve the credit card policy?
So move.
Bonnie.
Lonnie,
I second.
Hope seconded. Okay, any other questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries.
Okay, then we've got budgets. One is the revised budget for 2023 that incorporates new income numbers and catches up some other accounts that we drastically overspent. like car expense, things like that. And then we also have a 2024 proposed budget that we would like to turn into the 24 -00, the baseline budget. So Michael, you want to explain what they've got there?
Yeah, in the 2023-01, we had to adjust, like Steve said, for car repair. That was a big one. We moved some of the money around, and we also, for the 2 new positions, we had to include them, you know, in all parts, you know, benefits, salaries and everything. So those had to be adjusted. So really that was the change in the 2023-0001 budget. So now really all the accounts are more in line, you know, with our spending. And we also had to add in slightly additional revenue from New York State, the 0.22%.
Here's a quarter.
That's about it too. And on the 2024 budget, I think you have seen this because you approved it going to the 3 counties because we needed this as backup. You know, I put everything in, you know, I looked at the union thing, the union agreement and everything else and tried to figure out, you know, we also have an increase in health insurance. I tried to increase that to a certain amount. We did find out what the Medicare B reimbursement is, so, you know, that is, you know, a correct number. The only change I need to make is on the first page of the detail, where it has the expense account 5100, certified librarian salary, and then expense account 5101, all other salaries. There are 2 people or 2 employees that are off the wage schedules. And if you look at the union agreement, it says that they get 2% increase the last year of the budget. I accidentally put in 3. So we have there's another $686 I gotta disperse elsewhere. So I wanted to tell you that there was 2 incorrect numbers that have to be changed. And like I said, it's not a large amount. And like I said, I tried to, you know, get it as close, you know, I talked to, you know, Cersei Dynex, that's another big bill of ours, so, you know, I tried to get it as close as we can. I stayed the same with, I'm pretty sure, didn't I stay the same with revenue, state revenue?
I think so,
But I put the 5% increase, you know, for the counties in there. So we are using some money from prior years, but we gotta use that money up. You know, we can't have it hanging out. I wanna to get it as close as we can.
What do you need? Go ahead.
That is my spiel.
Oh, okay. What do you need us to make resolutions, motions on these 2? Yes.
Unfortunately, yes.
Do you want us to do them separately or together?
We ought to do them separate.
Thank you very much. Okay. Could I have a motion to accept the 2023-01 proposed budget? Mary? Second? Hope? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. Okay, and could I have a motion to accept the 2024 proposed budget? Lonnie,
So move.
second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Thank you. Now, I intended to look at and talk about the sustainable libraries at this point. Can we table that till next meeting, or do you want to do it now, Steve?
I'm fine with tabling it if that's what,
Can we
It
when we
gives
have a
you
little
a
more
little
time?
to
Mull it
digest
over.
what you heard today.
Could you
Exactly.
just refresh our memory on the cost while we're,
I think the accreditation was like $800.
We get 20% off because we're NILA, so it's.
Yeah, NILA gives us 20% off, so.
Okay, so
it'd be
720.
720 or so.
and then yearly the.
I'd like to also know, I was going through my head, as she was presenting. Anya, how does the staff feel about the sustainability? If I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I just,
I don't know if I'm comfortable speaking for everyone, but my general sense is that there is support among the staff.
Okay.
We all see the importance of going in this direction as a
Okay, good.
system.
Okay, that's, it just was going through my head and I wanted to know what people thought. So thank you.
Thank
very
you
much.
for asking.
Okay. Okay.
Gayla?
Yes.
May I put something, some input in? I'm Ann. I'm
Ann.
the library, I'm technical services librarian, and I'm the one that presented initially on SLI.
That's where thank you, Ann.
Yeah, and the only thing I have to say is that looking at the checklist, that what is needed to be certified, we're doing, I think, about 25 of those items. So, we're on our way, and there's no time limit.
Right. That did come through quite clearly when she was doing her presentation.
And if you follow current events, global warming is pretty out there, and this would help with that, with the efforts as a library.
The other thing I enjoyed that she said was that not every library is going to do every initiative.
Right.
You kind of make it into what your particular area needs.
And what you can, feasibly do with your budget.
Exactly. That impressed me.
While she was presenting, I did reach out to a friend who's on the North Country board to say, do you know anything about this? What do you guys think of it? And she was very like, I don't even know. So I think it's not a big deal. She goes, I think I vaguely remember we got a variance on the invasive species thing, so we could still get certified even without hitting that one. So there's some flexibility in that way too.
Yeah.
I think the membership is $150 a year.
And you don't have to pay
And
that.
you don't have to pay it the year you sign up for accreditation. So it's included in that accreditation, the first year's fee.
Okay, that's all gives us something to mull over between now and next month. Okay, now we're to new business. The snow removal proposal, we said to go ahead with it, but the board has to approve it. We only had one price, one company give us a price. It's the same one as last year's, Steve?
Yes.
Yes. And so we basically we have to approve it.
So move.
Okay, was that Tom?
It's still.
Lonnie.
Lonnie, okay.
Yes.
So we're
Second,
happy with the job we did last year?
Yeah, they did a pretty good job and they were responsive when we asked for a little bit better. I mean, the salting and things like
Right.
that. After we talked to them, that was fine.
We did
don't
have
have a
help.
second yet.
I seconded.
Oh, Hope seconded, okay. Any other questions?
What was that way you
I'll second it.
Well, we've got one now. I didn't see Hope wave her hand earlier. It's her birthday, so I'm giving her a lot of leeway.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Okay, all in favor of accepting the snow removal proposal?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries.
The lawn people too.
No, it's a different company.
Okay, we have the 2024 board meeting dates. Basically, it's always the fourth Monday of the month.
Except for Memorial Day.
Except for
Right.
March.
No, May.
No, for May. May Memorial Day is on the fourth Monday.
Oh,
So
okay.
you need to change it.
Okay, no. But March, we don't have a meeting.
Right.
And, Christmas, December, we usually do not either. And I don't think we need to have one now. So basically, do we want to stay with the same format that we've had?
Except with the exception of the Memorial Day Monday, and that was suggested to be moved up a week. Is that correct?
Yeah, right. So just move it up a week. So that'd be the third Monday. Okay. Okay, so could I have a motion to accept the 2024 board meeting dates?
So move.
Bonnie,
I'll second.
okay. Mary, any more
Yep.
questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained. Motion carried. Last item.
We had about 7 libraries that didn't meet minimum standards.
Oh dear.
6 of them are now in compliance, and so we don't need to do anything about them.
Okay.
The 7th is Tupper Lake, who was supposed to deliver to me their paperwork. I have not yet received it.
Oh.
So there's nothing to vote on.
Okay.
But we'll save it for for January.
Okay. Okay, does anyone have any other new business? If not, we are adjourned. Have a very, very happy holidays. Merry Christmas. I'm sorry, I say Merry Christmas, everyone, and we will see you in January.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Oh.